Hello and welcome to the Kuribros, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime recap podcast. I'm your host Phoenix, and this week I'll be taking you through the 2013 documentary Blackfish, covering the horrors of SeaWorld. Joining me, my co-host, a man who's going to tell you what that second mouth do, it's Andy. How you doing, Andy?
Oh boy, well I'll tell you what that second mouth do in great detail. It's so stupid.
Got him again.
Is that your goal every time you sign in?
Oh, absolutely it is.
You just want to throw me the fuck off and see what my response will be.
Yeah, here, curveball, keep up.
Oh god, hopefully I do okay.
I hope I can throw you in every single episode.
I'm like trying to maybe this is the practice I need to get a little better at my wit. Maybe I'll become wittier by the end of this. Maybe by the end of the series I'll actually have a good comeback.
I'm not going to hold my breath. Anyway, what I am going to do is tell people that last time we covered the episodes of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime wherein Yami Yugi dueled against Arcana, another player who used Dark Magician, and Joey had to duel against Weevil Underwood, cheater supreme who never gets a win.
I'm a little sad you didn't read the one that I wrote in the script. I wrote, Yami had a Dark Magician dick measuring contest with Arcana, and Joey had to get the bug spray on former Yugi foe Weevil Underwood.
Hey, you know what? Maybe your wit is coming along. That's pretty good. I like that.
Hey, look at that. I'm getting wins on here. I'm keeping this all in, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Hundo P. I like that you were able to get the... It's not like a rhyming scheme, but keeping Dark Magician dick measuring, having the DM words bouncing back and forth. It's very good flow.
Oh, look at that. Comedy notes on the podcast.
Speaking of bad flow, let's go over your bit where you covered the first episodes we have, and you still refuse to put fucking paragraph breaks in your notes, and I hate looking at it.
Here's the thing. I just fucking write them. I'm sorry. It's a mess, and I get lost too.
Put a break. Separate your thoughts. It's not hard. Hit the enter button at some point.
No.
All right, fair. I guess I'll go fuck myself.
I should someday.
Go fuck yourself?
I'll do both, but...
Our OnlyFans coming soon.
Kuribros OnlyFans. Watch me stick things up my ass.
Finally.
But I don't know when I'm doing the notes. I'm like basically watching this show, and I'm trying to like absorb what information I'm taking in and like remembering and like typing in how I'm scripting it out. And also reading a manga panels to see how they line up and what differences I have to do there. So I kind of am just trying to get it all done.
I think the real problem here is you didn't take enough English classes in college.
No, I took enough English class. I just didn't retain much of the information, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know. That's the American public school system there for you.
Well, call me your dad because I'm disappointed.
Well, someone's got to be.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm a dad.
Better luck next time, son.
Thanks, not dad.
Not my dad.
Well, so what are we going to be covering in this episode?
In this episode, we're covering freaks of many different flavors as we get to watch Yami duel against Strings, the mime being forced to speak, and we also deal with Joey dueling against Mako and Mako's unresolved daddy issues.
Which is a little more tacked on in this one than I feel necessary, but we'll kind of get into that when we get into that.
Oh, you know me, I love to get into it.
Oh, me too. So do you want to get into it? Oh, wait, I have to get into it.
Yeah, get your game on.
Oh, fuck, we're already in GX? I'm behind on the times. All right, so I'm going to cover the Creepy Mime Duel, which starts with episode 65 and adapts chapters 111 to 113. We open on Battle City as we see Joey and the gang elated about the victory he just dished out over Weevil. He only needs 2 more locator cards to qualify for the finals after taking not only Weevil's only 2 locator cards, but his Insect Queen monster card. The group is very happy about how well Joey has done in the tournament, especially since the 2 duels he faced were at severe disadvantages with, all the cheating and whatnot. Grandpa says Joey is growing into a fine duelist, and Joey mentions Yugi, which triggers Taya's inner monologue of worrying about Yugi's safety because that's all the anime has really given her this time around, unfortunately. They go off to look for Yugi in another match for Joey. Unbeknownst to them, a creepy guy in a rare hunter cloak is following stealthily behind them. The Merrick Lake goes off on his forehead while you hear Merrick ordering the rare hunter to keep tailing the gang and that they will need them soon. Ooh, foreshadowing.
This rare hunter is going to be following them for all of these episodes.
Seriously, and there's only more that follow.
Like, how do you guys not notice?
Yeah, it's a little weird. We then cut to a boat in Merrick's arrival to Battle City. A hooded figure with markings on his face, who seems to be close to Merrick's, asks if it's time to let out the Quiet One. Merrick answers yes, and that he will take over his mind and take on Yugi with his puzzle. We cut to the quiet, unmoving person on the bench from earlier who still hasn't moved from his pose, surrounded by people questioning the guy's deal. Merrick awakens the mime, and he slings on a dual disc and starts running in search for Yugi per Merrick's orders. Kind of runs like I mean, it's hard to kind of describe on a visual podcast.
It's a very stiff, like, straight back run.
Very 90-degree angle elbows.
Yeah, have you ever seen those? This is, like, kind of weird, but, like, there was a thing people talked about where, like, Chris Evans running in movies was, like, super weird because of, like, a strange gait he had. It's kind of like that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What, like in the Captain America movies or like before that?
It was more noticeable then because he did a lot of it, but sort of like he has a very like straight back running posture with arms going like arms also at right angles going up and down as he's moving.
His posture must be immaculate.
Yeah, there was a lot of issues, I think. Well, not a lot, but there was some issues with like stunt doubles had a difficult time matching that in particular, I think.
Well, we do all be slouching nowadays. It seems like he doesn't.
Yeah, speaking of
got
which, you
back
listening at
strength
home. Shrimp check.
Oh, God. Oh, we have both just straightened our backs.
Yep.
Anyway, gonna get back to the thing, as it appears this is the rare hunter who is holding one of American's Egyptian god cards, which I believe was already established, but I don't know. We cut to Yugi having a discussion with Yami, who are both trying to put the pieces together for Yami's past and Merrick's involvement in all of it. Yugi is determined to help Yami and feels destiny brought them together so he could help Yami find his lost memories. This goes a little differently in the manga, as Yugi instead reveals to Yami that he knows Yami wanted to enter this tournament to find the answers in his memories. If you don't recall, in the manga, Yami was trying to keep this from Yugi as he didn't want to upset him and cause friction between the two. Yugi goes on to say he will help Yami and that it is his duty. He is thankful for the impact Yami has made on him and how he helped grant Yugi's wish of a true friend, and now he has a lot of great friends because of it. Yugi even admits that part of him wants Yami to stay in his heart forever, but he does not want to be dependent on Yami, trapping him to use his strength to protect Yugi and the gang. Yugi knows he can't be protected forever and says it's time for him to help Yami for a change. Back to the anime part of the plot, Yami feels the mime's presence as he sprints his way to Yugi's location. Merrick uses his mind slave Strings as a proxy to duel Yugi.
He is also called Strings in the sub.
He doesn't have a name in the manga, but he does have a backstory of killing his parents many years ago and locking his conscience away because of the guilt, so he is the perfect weapon for Merrick's bidding.
Excuse me?
Yeah. He's a serial killer in the manga, or I guess so to speak. They even go on to say, when Merrick's so confident that he's going to win, obviously with the God card, he says, when we beat you, he's going to hunt you down, and he will not stop until he kills you.
He does say something similar. I don't remember if he used the word kill, but he does say that after the duel, because this isn't a shadow game, it's just a duel.
Mm-hmm. But
he says after the duel, when Strings wins, he's going to hunt you down and get you.
Yeah, they don't really allude to that, obviously, in the dub, but, we can all forgive that, or not.
I don't.
In the end, Yami appears and accepts Merrick's challenge. We cut to Ishizu, who is sensing the duel that is to come, and talks of Merrick and the good side he has inside, but he has to fail in his quest for power to get it back. We then see Evil Bakura outside the museum Ishizu is at. His Millennium Ring is pointing towards what I can only assume is her Millennium item. He walks in the museum and searches for it when suddenly the trail somehow goes cold. He does acknowledge the tablets, saying he hasn't laid eyes on them in quite some time, which is interesting. Seems he still has some of the memories of the past he was a part of. We see Ishizu around the corner overhearing Evil Bakura's evil dialogue and says he may have some knowledge but he does not know all, not even the power Merrick seeks. After a little reminder of what Merrick's motives and plans are for the millionth time, Yami and Mimic start their duel. Merrick opens with a face down and humanoid slime in attack mode.
Hang on. Are you just going to brush past you calling the Strings mimic? Combining the words mime and Merrick like I wouldn't notice that?
Yeah.
All right.
I only did it the one time.
Carry on, my good bitch.
I'm actually, and good on you for addressing it, because I'm not going to call him Strings throughout this. I'm just going to call him Merrick, because it's just fucking Merrick.
Yeah, it's Merrick using a body more than he's ever really used his other ghouls.
Yeah, literally. Well, we'll get there.
Oh no.
Either way, Merrick opens with a face down card and humanoid slime in attack mode with 800 attack points. Yami starts his turn and acknowledges Merrick probably wants him to attack the weak humanoid slime to spring a trap. Yami sets a card face down and summons Gazelle, the king of mythical beasts. This is like the third time in a row he summoned it in his duels. Merrick summons Wormdrake and plays Polymerization, which he didn't have to do to waste his normal summon on Wormdrake to do, but that's a bad habit with this show. Phoenix is angrily agreeing with me, aggressively just nodding their head.
Hey, they do it in the episodes I cover too.
I know, it's ridiculous. Either way, humanoid Wormdrake is the fusion summon monster and is stronger with 2200 attack to Gazelle's 1500 attack. Yami reminds Merrick that a fusion summon monster can attack on the turn it is summoned, but Merrick scoffs that off with revealing his face down card, Quick Attack, which allows his monster to attack the turn it was fusion summoned. That's kind of what it says in the manga too. I don't think that's what it is in the anime though. Either way, Merrick goes in for the attack feeling like he has made his first big play of the match, but Yami plays Defusion, revealing he knew Humanoid Drake was going to be used for fusion material, which is weird, and that he was aware of Merrick's plan to lure him into attacking with the face down in the back row, so he played a game of his own to lure out Merrick's plans. Yami even states that he's disappointed with Merrick's abilities and thought he would be more of a challenge, but Merrick says he was just testing Yami to measure his skills. Merrick is unwavered as he has his Egyptian god card ready and waiting to crush Yami and take his puzzle. It's Yami's turn, and he draws Bustard Blader, which I love, and saves it for when he will need it, and plays Beta the Magnet Warrior and has it destroy Wormdrake. Gazelle then destroys Humanoid Slime to bring Merrick's life points down to 3,000. Merrick's turn and announces his new card is unlike any Yami has ever seen before, an indestructible plasma monster known as Revival Jam, as he plays it in defense mode. He then plays the magic card Jam Breeding Machine, which summons slime tokens so he can use them as sacrifices for his Egyptian god card. Yami sacrifices his two monsters to summon Buster Blader and feels confident in his strength as he attacks Revival Jam, which reformed and is not destroyed. Yami is stunned at this stalemate since Revival Jam will protect Merrick from direct attacks. Merrick's turn and the first token is created, then Merrick ends with a face down card. Yami tries to poke a hole in Merrick's plan, says he can attack the tokens to prevent the summoning from Merrick's god card with Buster Blader, and thinks he will beat him in 2 turns. Buster Blader then goes in for the attack when Merrick reveals the continuous trap card, Jam Defender, which uses Revival Jam as a shield for any and all attacks on any of Merrick's other monsters. Merrick is well aware of the risk of leaving his slime tokens unprotected and now has the perfect defense to get his tokens on the field. Merrick draws and the second slime token is summoned, and for insurance purposes, he plays Nightmare Steel Cage to prevent Yami from attacking for the next 2 turns. He can attack and no one can attack Yami. A little different from Swords of Revealing Light. Yami is utterly helpless as Merrick prepares to summon his Egyptian god card as the episode ends. Did you find Quick Attack?
Quick Attack is not a card.
Oh, that's an anime only card?
Yeah.
No shit.
Fusion summon monsters not being able to attack their summoned has only ever been a thing for Battle City.
Is that only like in the anime?
Yeah. Unless they do it in the manga too.
They like kind of do it, but like the rules are a little looser in the manga.
Oh, we're definitely playing fast and loose.
So it's a little bit more of how the narrative needs to go. But they also are quicker with some of the things, so it kind of makes sense. And the one thing I will give the anime props for, and it's a little, I have my things about it right now, but they are generally more consistent with like keeping their rules where they need to be. So some of the moves do change between the manga and the anime, but for better reasons.
As I've gotten more and more into Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh players don't hate me for that. I have noticed a lot of the back and forth in the anime does kind of feel like how a really intense game of Magic feels, where everything's like super specific, but like super good at countering, making the action like really go by, really cool and intense.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to really get into Magic more to understand that, but
for the sake of your bank account, don't.
Well, you're the one who said, I think, literally last episode that you want me to get into it, so.
Oh, I do. I just don't want you to pay money for it.
Well, we'll figure that out someday. Or not. I don't know. Let's see how much my brain can handle. Do you have anything else before I move on to the next episode?
Revival Jam. You have to pay life points to bring it back. I know this because I thought it was super cool watching this episode as a kid, and then my brother got this card, and I thought, oh man, sick, he's got the infinite block and slime, and no, you have to pay for it.
Well, that pokes a big hole in Merrick's plan, doesn't it?
Sure, ding dong diggity doo.
Well, I mean, at some point, I feel like they could have just not had it and just had Slifer destroying people, but either way. Let's get on with it. Episode 66, which covers chapters 113 to 115. We pick up where we left off with Merrick the Mime gloating to the trapped Yami as he prepares to summon his Egyptian god card. We cut to Kaiba Corp home base doing tech shit for the tournament when Kaiba calls to ask if any of the god cards had been played in the tournament. Think they'll be seeing one soon, though. Kaiba is eager to find these cards and get them for himself. He and Mokuba go off and search on foot. We get back to the duel and Yami draws and passes because he can't really do anything else. He's in a cage. Merrick summons his third slime token and with that is now able to summon his great divine beast. Dark clouds start rolling in and lightning shoots to the ground from the sky. Merrick sacrifices his 3 tokens to summon one of the Egyptian god cards, Slifer the Sky Dragon. Yami is visibly shaken as the great beast roars at him. Even in the manga, he says he is frozen in fear from the feeling of the power pouring out of Slifer.
Something weird I noticed when Slifer was summoned, it also blew up the machine that was making the slimes.
Yeah, it did do that, but I thought that was just part of the whole, like, if they're sacrificing the 3 tokens, the card's gone.
No, getting rid of the tokens doesn't mean that the machine would go away.
Well, it did it. It was so powerful, it just blew it up.
Old man in sky hates modern technology. More at 11.
Merrick believes he has the duel won as he believes no one can defeat the Egyptian god monsters, but Yami believes he can find a way. Merrick starts revealing Slifer's abilities as he explains Slifer attack power is determined by how many cards he has in his hand at any given time. So for instance, right now, Merrick has 2 cards in his hand, so Slifer's power is at 2,000, but he then plays Pot of Greed, greed is good, from his hand so he can draw 2 cards from his deck. So now Slifer's power is at 3,000. Yami says there's a limit to how many cards you can hold in your hand at a time, but Merrick seems to have an answer for that as well. Yami tries to devise a strategy to take down Slifer, remembers that his Buster Blader's ability adds 500 attack strength for Buster Blader for every dragon on the field, so he's at 3,100. Since we are calling Slifer a dragon, even though he's categorized as a divine beast. But Yami is stuck in the Nightmare Steel Cage and can't attack, so when it goes back to Merrick, Slifer will be stronger than Buster Blader. Yami draws and tries to think of what he can do and says he has to trust in the heart of the cards to guide him out of this mess. Yami plays 2 cards face down and summons our own god card in Kuribros in defense mode. So Yami found a way to win as he played our lovely furball god. Yami ends his turn and the steel cage disappears. Merrick draws and Slifer goes to 4,000 attack strength. Slifer goes in for the attack on Buster Blader, but Yami activates the Life Force Sword trap card to lower the attack strength of Slifer. So Buster Blader is now stronger than Slifer. Buster Blader tries to slay the beast, but Revival Jam slurps on over to Slifer's aid and as it is still affected by Jam Defender and blocks all the attacks. Merrick then plays the spell card of Safe Return, which lets Merrick draw 3 more cards from his deck every time Revival Jam reforms. So now Slifer has 5,000 attack points. Now what's Yami gonna do? Well, who cares as we cut to Joey, Taya, and Grandpa Moto and some other random guy who is only around to bang Joey's sister, apparently. Said guy harps on Joey for turning down a random duelist for a duel that he's saying he could have made an easy victory with and get a locator card. Joey refuses as he wants to actually be challenged as a duelist and doesn't want to do it the easy way. After some wise advice from Grandpa, suddenly Kaiba and Mokuba appear. Kaiba asks why some amateur is dueling in his super special awesome exclusive Battle City tournament, but he has other matters to deal with, so Kaiba says he'll deal with him later. Joey gets upset at Kaiba's rude words and tries to duel Kaiba and makes the really funny cocky face we all love. Mokuba says it's a waste of time, but Kaiba is so ready to humiliate Joey at a moment's notice, he puts his deck in his duel disc with a shitting devilish grin and says, "This won't take long." Joey gets ready to take on Kaiba as suddenly it gets very windy. Kaiba's chopper starts to land as his home base contacts him because an Egyptian god card was put into play. Kaiba tells Joey it's his lucky day, but Joey tries to play it off like he could have beaten him. Very classic Joey. Kaiba and Mokuba head to the duel and find out it's a duel involving Yugi Moto. We cut back to the duel where, oh no, Buster Blader is destroyed. Yami's life points are down to 2,100. Merrick gloats about his great combo, saying there's nothing Yami can do to stop him. Obviously disrespecting the other god card on the field in Kuribros. So, that's where his downfall starts. I'm always finding that. Yami starts his turn by drawing Magic Cylinder and sacrifices Kuribros to summon Dark Magician Girl. Kind of rude to sacrifice God like that, but Dark Magician Girl's cool, so we'll look past it. Yami gets instantly punished, though, as Merrick reveals Slifer's second mouth, and what that second mouth does, like we alluded to earlier in the episode, it automatically shoots a beam from that second mouth, causing the monster that was summoned to lose 2,000 points to whichever position the monster is in. So Dark Magician Girl was in defense mode with 1700, so she would have just automatically been destroyed. As the beam tries to destroy Dark Magician Girl, the Magical Hat's ass pool comes out. Dark Magician Girl is safe, and Yami sets 2 cards face down under the 2 remaining hats. Merrick draws to start his turn and plays the final magic card to complete his combo, Infinite Cards. Now, Merrick has no limits to the cards he can hold in his hand. Slifer goes in for the attack, and Yami activates Magic Cylinder and Spellbinding Circle to bind Slifer and send its attack back to it. But Revival Jam protects Slifer again. 3 more cards are drawn, so Slifer is now at 7,300 with Spellbinding Circle debuffing it. Then Merrick's turn comes around, which rebuffs it, so it's now at 8,300. And because he drew, it's now 9,000. It's, numbers. Either way, Slifer the Sky Dragon destroys Dark Magician Girl. The combo is in full swing, and it seemingly starts to feel like it's really hopeless for Yami. He falls to his knees, stunned by how he let it get this far, when suddenly you hear Kaiba yell at Yami to get on his feet. He basically tells Yami he knows he can defeat this monster in his own, kind Kaiba words. You know how it is. He also wants to see how the card can be defeated so he can do it himself. We get a shot of Yami facing the great Slifer the Sky Dragon as the episode ends. Wow. Oh boy. Well, I wonder how he's going to get out of this one. I think we should go on to the next episode. What do you think, Phoenix?
I miss Kuribros.
I miss him too.
Also, Slifer's actual effect with the second mouth is when a monster summoned in attack mode, he does the 2,000 point check, blows it up if you fail. If not, you just get reduced for the turn.
That's like the official TCG ruling.
Yep.
Well, it's a little different in this, I guess. Because, I guess I'll get into it in this episode, but he does it again to another defense monster. Either way, we go on to episode 67, which covers chapters 116 to 118. And it is the final episode of the Yugi, Yami, Mimic, Merrick duel. We get back to Kaiba giving his own type of pep talk and Yami getting back on his feet. I like the pep talk more in the manga, but whatever, it's fine in the dub. Yugi declares once again that he will defeat God, but he already sacrificed Kuribros, so let's see how he gets out of this jam. No pun intended.
In the sub, Kaiba says a lot of stuff about God's power is not infinite, and if God got in my way, I would knock God down. So I don't think he's strictly some hard atheistic stances, but he is at the very least heretical.
It's kind of true. It's interesting how the sub, the dub, and the manga all have 3 different ways of Kaiba saying basically the same thing, and it all kind of works in its own way. It's nice to see that.
Yeah.
Yami draws Monster Reborn and plays it face down along with Big Shield Garden in defense mode. Slifer takes off 2,000 defense points, which keeps it safe for now with 600 defense points left. Merrick reiterates his super special awesome God combo and draws another card to make Slifer's attack points 11,000. Mokuba and Kaiba discuss the combo Merrick plays, and then Kaiba has an epiphany on the flaw of Merrick's combo. Kaiba silently sits and waits for Yami to realize this weakness himself. He actually gives a hint to Yami in the manga. Either way, Yami figures it out because he's so smart. Yami gloats he knows how to beat Slifer and will make it destroy itself, which sets Merrick off as he's sure he has Yami beat. Yami makes his draw and hopes it's the one card he needs to win, so heart of cards, do yo thang. Yami drew exactly what he needed and reveals the face-down Monster Reborn to summon Buster Blader in attack mode, which shocks Merrick, but now he's sure Yami is going to be defeated. Card of Safe Return activates since Buster Blader was revived and 3 more cards are drawn and Slifer is now at 14,000 attack, and then activates the second mount to reduce Buster Blader's attack to 1,100. Buster Blader goes in for the attack and gets jammed up by the defending Rival Jam with Jam Defender. Merrick is sure of his victory as Revival Jam starts to revive, but Yami plays Brain Control, which Merrick thinks is for Slifer, so he tries to rain on that parade by saying Slifer is unaffected, but Yami is actually going for Revival Jam as it forms to his side of the field. Now, Revival Jam revives to Yami's side of the field, and Card of Safe Return is activated, causing 3 more cards to be drawn. Also, since Revival Jam is resummoned to the field, Slifer's second effect activates, destroying Revival Jam, which has it returned to the field, causing 3 more cards to be drawn, which in turn causes Slifer's automatic attack to hit Revival Jam, which then returns the card to the field, which causes 3 more cards to draw, and oh no, I almost went into the same loop Yami trapped Merrick in. So Merrick is basically in a drawing loop until he has no more cards to draw, and he can't have any cards to draw. He automatically loses. In one of the coolest splash pages in the manga series, Yami declares victory. Yami has bested the Egyptian god card Slifer the Sky Dragon and has taken this round from Merrick. Mokuba goes down to retrieve Yami's spoils of victory, while the mime is on his knees in defeat. Yami has earned his own Egyptian god card and also another locator card. Kaiba isn't mincing words as he approaches Yami, challenging him to a duel with his newly attained god card. Kaiba reveals to Yami that he has his own god card and will take Yami's and Merrick's to be the #1 duelist in the world. Very normal about it as well. The mime rises suddenly as Merrick has more to say to Yami. Merrick says he will meet Yami sooner than he thinks as he is on his way to Battle City. He has his rare hunters all over, and he can see all that they see. He hints that he is threatening to use his friends against him, which makes Yami very upset, and tells Merrick to leave them out of this. Merrick's connection to the mime is severed, and Yami begins to run to find his friends when Kaiba reminds him they have a score to settle. Yami is hearing none of it, though, as he wants to make sure everyone is safe first as he runs away. Merrick's boat finally docks. He's actually on a motorcycle in the manga on his way to Battle City during the duel that they're having. He was already there, docked, and going when the duel was happening. So he was doing that duel on a bike, which is, probably a little interesting foreshadowing for 2 series from now in its own way.
Yeah, can you imagine people dueling on motorcycles?
Card games on motorcycles. Either way, he makes his way towards Battle City as the episode ends. And that is the end of the Yugi versus Mimic duel. What'd you think of that?
I liked it. I like Slifer. Slifer is, in my opinion, the coolest of the god cards. I like the infinite combo that was set up. I like the infinite combo being used against Slifer. I like Kaiba showing up and being his Kaiba self on the sidelines. It's great. Iconic duel. I like Buster Blader a lot, too. Buster Blader looks awesome.
Yeah, I think when you think of a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh duels, this is probably one of the top 5, really. This is one of those duels where Yugi really feels like the odds are against him. Where I think when you're looking at a lot of the duels besides maybe the Pegasus duel and possibly the Kaiba duels, Yugi, you could always kind of feel like, oh, he's going to get out of this one, even if it doesn't seem like he is. With this one, I feel like it seems so impossible, and the only way he's going to get out of it is because he's the protagonist of the show and the show's in his name. So it's one of my favorite duels for sure, and I was very excited to cover it. And I think going back to it was a true treat, and reading in the manga and how it kind of is depicted in the manga, I think works a little better, but I think the anime does a very, very good job at adapting it. The whole Kaiba versus Joey little bit that I talked about, that's nowhere in the anime or the manga. That's the whole anime only padding time for some reason. But I think the episode list was used pretty appropriately for this one. We've been talking about, oh, this could have been 2 parts, or this could have just been done in a part. I think 3 parts was all right for this one. I kind of forgive it.
Yeah.
It could have maybe been 2, but 3 actually, I think, paced itself out really well.
Yeah, I think this one did a good job of the cutaways that we had to things that weren't the duel were short enough.
Yeah, or at least they were generally relevant. It's Kaiba looking for Yugi, or at least the God cards. There wasn't a lot of fluff with the gang of, we don't know what to do with them, so we're just going to basically do Teo worrying and Tristan saying some dumb shit, and Joey, being more obnoxious than his character really is. So that's nice. I think it was all done really, really well. So I'm happy that we got to kind of cover that finally. And also, I just think Slifer the Sky Dragon is actually my favorite Egyptian god card as well. It's a cool dragon.
Yeah.
And it's red. I like red.
Yeah. If they had a green one, then I'd probably have that one as my favorite. But no, we gotta have other colors.
Red, blue, and gold.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, now we get to go on to a Joey duel, which you're going to cover, Phoenix.
Oh boy, you could call this a Joey duel. You could call it therapy. You could call it repressed trauma. You could call it a lot of things.
I just want to say before we get into it, I kind of, not that I don't hate this, or not that I don't like I hate this duel, but like to have this be the duel that Joey gets, sorry, spoilers, he wins, gets to the finals with this duel. It's kind of a little, not anticlimactic, but it doesn't feel as like epic as like you would have thought.
Right, because this is like the other matches, Joey versus Weevil. Weevil was the first person that Yugi fought in Duelist Kingdom. Weevil was the Japanese champion who got invited to Duelist Kingdom. Like that one had like some stakes and a little bit of punch up because Joey was still like a nobody. And Esperoba, he was fighting like his own antagonist. Like that was an entirely Joey thing. But with this one, Mako was third place in Nationals, which is worse than Weevil did. So it seems weird to have him be another step past Weevil on Joey's road to becoming a true duelist.
Yeah, and it's like, it seems like the theme is Joey going after Yugi's old foes. So I guess narratively it makes sense because that's who Yugi fought next. And you can't really do Panic, and Joey fought with Yugi with the Paradox Brothers. And Pegasus, is, for all intents and purposes, is dead or not here.
Have him duel Mokuba.
Oh god, yeah, you have to do that. So it just kind of makes sense for Joey to do it, but it just didn't feel as well executed as I would have hoped for. But it's fine. It's a fine duel, and we can get into it now. As saying that, going off of that.
Well, before I get into the Joey duel, there's another duel that has to happen first.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
This episode opens up with Yami running through the streets of Battle City, and he's accosted by two ghouls. One is short and bald, the other is tall, has blue hair, and probably pronouns. The two ghouls get caught up in a rock-paper-scissors game to decide which of them will face Yami first, until Kaiba joins them and says, "Fuck it, we're just doing a tag match, this is taking too long." The duel begins with Kaiba going first, playing Pot of Greed, then summoning Lord of D. He then plays two Flute of Summoning Dragons to play all three of his Blue Eyes and Hyo Zanru on turn 1. He then passes to the short ghoul, who sets a monster and passes his turn. Yami puts two cards in the back row and plays Kuribros in defense.
Woo!
And passes. The tall ghoul then sets Mirror Force in his back row, plays a monster, and passes. It's Kaiba's turn, and the duel's about to be over. He summons Obelisk by tributing all three of his Blue Eyes, then uses Obelisk's effect to tribute the two other monsters to give Obelisk infinite attack power and destroy the ghoul's monsters, while Kuribros looks on in terror. The tall ghoul attempts to activate Mirror Force, but Obelisk just punches right through it, and the match is over.
What are you talking about terror? He had something in his eye. He just got some dirt in his eye from the summoning. He was not scared.
Actually, it was tears of joy to see little Obelisk grow so far.
Yes. Thank you. I knew you misspoke.
Yep, I always do.
I actually want to say, in the manga, Kaiba wants to duel the tag team guys because one of the reasons he held the tournament was to wipe out the Rare Hunters, so he just felt there was an opportunity to do that. Also, there's no duel in the manga. Kaiba just plays Obelisk and fucks their shit up.
Oh, that's normal.
Like, I imagine what actually happened is he just, Takahashi just didn't want to panel it all out because that would be a kind of a waste of pages. So he's just like, it'll all happen eventually, and at the end it's Obelisk. This just makes more sense or like beat by beat wise, and they probably have more of the time for it. But yeah, no, Kaiba just kills him, or does he?
What I think would have been very funny is if upon seeing Obelisk, Yami went to Kaiba and said, so you have a god card of your own, and did you defeat a powerful rare hunter to get it too? And then Kaiba has to explain, no, he was given his for free. He didn't earn it.
No,
he got it for being a special boy who went to Free Museum Day.
That was only exclusively for him. But Yugi does acknowledge it in the manga, going like, "That's Kaiba's god card. That's crazy," kind of thing. Like, oh my god, like that's what he has. So he does acknowledge it.
Yeah,
not like that though. It'd be really funny if he did that. It'd be like a Goku kind of response.
Yeah. Anyway. Yami decides to grab the now unconscious ghouls and start shaking them around, saying, "Where are my friends?" And Kaiba just goes in and takes a locator card from each of them and gives one to Yami. Yami then goes to just keep running through the city looking for them, but Kaiba just stops him and says, "Mokuba, contact Kaiba Corp HQ, notify me when Joey starts dueling." And after this, Yami and the Kaiba Bros just walk away, and the two ghouls then get up and make some menacing statements about getting back and the weakness of Obelisk. We then cut to some weird shit where we see Mako with a whole bunch of fish, and is revealed he has been pulling them out of an aquarium.
Not good.
When an orca that is inside the aquarium tries to eat him. This is the blackfish joke I made earlier. Mako is stopped by an employee who then collapses due to a fever, and Mako then volunteers to do their job for him. Judging by what he's done already at this aquarium, I think he's underqualified.
Me too.
We get a quick bit of Merrick riding around on a motorcycle, which Evil Bakura is also able to detect thanks to his ring. Evil Bakura then sees the Friendship Squad coming up behind him and puts on his soft boy disguise so they suspect nothing. The gang then looks off to the right and sees a sign that looks hand-painted depicting Mako and the orca, and this makes Joey decide to take him on as his final opponent. The squad then arrives at the aquarium where they see Mako riding the orca, and unbeknownst to them, a bunch of ghouls also join them to hide amongst the crowd. Mako and Joey do some trash talk and decide to duel as a way to hype the crowd for the show.
There's no Mako joining an aquarium show or anything when he is there. He just went there because he thought he could fish the sea life in the tanks. Tay informs them that's not the purpose of aquariums. You're supposed to see the fish, which leaves Mako perplexed. And how Joey finds them is kind of a joke because Joey conveniently says he has a duelist sensor on his dual disc. And it's definitely played as a joke because Grandpa Moto goes, that's convenient, literally. So it's that kind of how they rushed it to make it happen in the manga.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. Either way it happens in the show or in the manga, it's kind of just ends in the same way. This duel plays a little differently, but not like too much.
Yeah, it's a weird match.
Mm-hmm.
The duel begins with Joey going first. He does some goofy show-off moves as he draws his first card, and also then realizes as he draws that he forgot to take out the Parasite card Weevil had snuck into his deck.
God damn it, Joey.
Joey then thinks he can use this against Mako, sets the monster on the field, and passes. Mako summons Flying Fish and attacks the monster, flipping it face up, which would activate it, but Joey's plan falls apart because it does not survive the attack and goes to the graveyard before it can resolve.
Joey does get fucked by the Parasite card in the manga, but he doesn't realize it until he wastes his first monster with it. Like, he summons Swordsman of Landstar, was trying to play Guilty of the Night, and then the Parasite card affects it, and then they destroy, like, Mako eventually destroys both of them, and the problem's gone.
Weird.
Yeah.
Joey sets another monster and passes. Mako puts one card in his back row and passes, thinking that Joey's next monster probably has more defense, which is why he doesn't attack this time. Joey then tributes the monster he had summoned so he can summon Garuzis, but Mako responds with Torrential Tribute to destroy it. Torrential Tribute actually should have wiped the entire field, but we're not caring about the rules in this match at all.
No, not really.
We then cut to Merrick, who is riding around on the back alleys of Domino City when he is stopped by Evil Bakura, who just jumps in front of a motorcycle, because that's the smart move.
He's a very sane individual.
Yeah, speaking of sanity, Merrick proposes they work together to take down the Pharaoh, and he'll give Evil Bakura the Millennium Rod after. But EB is impatient and wants it right now.
It's my Millennium item, and I want it now.
Let's not dwell too much on him really wanting the Merrick to just give him the rod right now.
Oh.
Got him. The two decide to do some Millennium flexing at each other with shadow powers, and we don't see more of them for the rest of this episode.
Woohoo!
Back in SeaWorld, Mako attacks Joey directly and sets one card in his back row. Mako says he's disappointed in Joey for not trying his best and goofing off, and this motivates Joey to duel better so he can be capable of taking on Yugi in the future. Joey draws and plays Alligator Sword, puts two cards in his back row, and passes. It's Mako's turn. He tributes a Flying Fish for Amphibian Beast and attacks. Joey activates Fairy Box, which makes a whack-a-mole game out of attacking, but Mako uses his field spell Umi to flood the field, which forces Alligator Sword to come up for air. I think alligators are pretty good at holding their breath, so that doesn't really track to me.
Nope.
Also, he activated a field spell during attack declaration, which also doesn't work. Joey then uses Skull Dice, which is still a spell card, to weaken Amphibian Beast and destroys it with his Alligator Sword. Timings in this are all wrong and I hate it. The episode ends with Mako having an internal dialogue about his true strategy coming soon.
Yeah, this one is a little weird. At least it's Skull Dice as a trap card in the dub.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Gotta move on though to see what Mako's real plan is.
Now, episode 69. Nice! Which is chapters 121 to 124. Right back into the action, Joey draws Polymerization and summons Baby Dragon, and then plays Polymerization to fuse it with Alligator Sword into Alligator's Sword Dragon. and then passes his turn.
He actually attacks in the manga right away.
Oh, neat.
Which is inconsistent with the rules.
Mako summons a monster which hides under the Umi field and passes his turn. Joey then uses the effect of his alligator sword dragon, which lets it attack directly if your opponent only controls fire, earth, or water monsters. And this damage triggers a flashback for Mako, who remembers his dad being lost to the sea.
That damn sea. We're losing everything. Exodia, Mako's dad, Starships, Bandit Keith.
But we got him back.
We did get him back, and we did find him. So we're 25% success rate.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's not 100% loss.
We're getting there.
Yeah. Mako plays another monster, Onda da Si, and passes. Joey sets a card and attacks again, but Mako now plays Tornado Wall, which makes all battle damage he takes 0 as long as Umi is in play. It's Mako's turn, and he tributes the hidden monster for another hidden monster, which then attacks and reveals itself to be the legendary fisherman.
Ooh.
Joey tries to use his spell card to weaken it, but learns that the legendary fisherman is immune to spell cards thanks to Umi being on the field, and Joey's monster is destroyed. There's a very dumb interaction with legendary fisherman in the actual game and this, where because it is immune to the effects of spell cards, it does not get the power boost that these spell cards in the field zone provide.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. This was probably been my least favorite Joey match. So I kind of I was there, but I wasn't as engaged as I usually am. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Joey sets one monster in his turn and passes. Mako plays another monster, Onda da Si, and destroys Joey's monster with his fisherman. Mako decides to make the duel weird by claiming that the legendary fisherman monster is his dad's double. And my god, Mako needs therapy.
Oh my god, dude. It's a little weird. Very normal.
We see, flashbacks with Mako's dad. Your dad don't look that ripped.
Well, here's the thing, and I actually was going to bring this up later, but I'll bring it up now. Mako's dad looks a lot like Legendary Fisherman in the manga. He looks so much cooler, and he looks exactly like Legendary Fisherman, except he's much more scarred up because he's a human being and not a monster card.
That is a weird inconsistency.
Well, I don't think they had the whole Mako's dad plot in the manga in Duelist Kingdom, or at least it wasn't as prevalent. So I don't think they needed it, and they kind of added that in. But then they bring it in for this, but not as intensely as it is in the anime.
I feel like in the anime, though, they could have done a bit more work to make flashback Mako's dad look more like the legendary fisherman.
Well, yeah, because, I was going to say this too. Even if you did make him look like what he did in the anime before, now you have an idea of what Takahashi wanted him to look like. You could change it. It's not like anyone who was foreshadowed in One Piece or anyone before they got their true character design looked the same. Look up Kaido when he was first mentioned, but he was still just the shadow. Doesn't look like what he looks like now at all. And you know what? Who fucking cares?
Yeah, this is going to be one of those rare moments where we say that this is a dub for the manga versus the sub or the dub.
Woo! Go manga.
Yeah, manga enjoyers rise up.
Me.
Mako reveals that this card was sent him 3 years after he lost his dad by his dad, telling him that this is a man's card.
That is anime. Well, okay, so that's not what he says in the dub. It's more something along the lines of he connects the dots, knows that his dad sent in. It gives him hope to search for him later. But also that stuff's anime only. Mako's dad never gave him the card. It's just a card that reminded him of his dad.
Yeah, Mako goes on to explain that he got the letter from his dad in as much as his dad wrote the letter and had a friend of his dad's get the card and send it to Mako before Mako's dad was lost at sea. So it's like a package that got lost in the mail for a while and then finally showed up after your dad died.
Well, they don't really say that in the anime, or the dub, I should say. It's a postal person, and doesn't say anything about a friend sending it. It is they say it alluded to be Mako's dad, which is whatever.
I didn't know they had mail in Atlantis.
Me neither.
Well, we'll get to Atlantis later.
Oh shit, we do.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
All my jokes have a little bit of truth in them.
A little foreshadowing for the filler seasons.
Anyway, Mako's dad, still turbo dead, but Jesus Christ, what a weird fucking thing to bring up in a duel.
Yeah, I don't know why he's trauma dumping to Joey.
Joey responds to this trauma dumping by setting a monster, a card in the back row, and passing his turn. It's Mako's turn, and he plays Fortress Whale's Oath, and then tributes the monsters we did not see him attack with before to summon Fortress Whale, which is a whale with guns on its back and a big narwhal tooth. And I think if Mako had actually just used his other monsters to attack Joey instead of just using the fisherman, he would have had enough damage to win by now.
Well, this is why he loses. He was misplaying.
Yeah. Cutting back to the alleyway, Evil Bakura and Merrick are flexing some mad shadow energy at each other, and now EB decides that teaming up is fine, and both villains are secretly thinking of using the other.
Those dots are connected with the them being evil, so makes sense.
Yeah. Back in Waterworld, Mako destroys Joey's monster with his fisherman and attacks him directly with the whale.
Ouch.
Joey then gets splashed because there's a living, water-breathing orca still going around while they're dueling. Also, didn't say this. They're dueling in the arena.
Yeah, they are dueling in the arena. We didn't bring that one up.
Yeah, have you ever heard of SeaWorld? They're in the water part.
Yeah, there is like an actual orca swimming around while they're dueling.
Yeah, so anyway, Joey gets splashed by the orca, and that gives him an idea on how to win. Joey sets 2 cards and summons Panther Warrior, and passes his turn. On Mako's turn, he attacks with the whale, which Joey responds by playing Magic Arm Shield, which grabs the legendary fisherman and puts it in the way of the attack. After the monster is destroyed, Mako takes some damage. Mako tries to give up, since he lost the will to duel after seeing his dad die twice now. I don't like them doing the thing that Mai does, because I'd like to see Mai do it instead of Mako. Hearing this, Joey motivates Mako to keep on dueling, saying that Mako's dad didn't raise no quitter.
He ain't no bitch.
Yeah, he didn't raise no dry landlubber. Mako is so motivated that he gets to attack with Fortress Whale again for some reason, and Joey plays Kunai with Chain to bind the whale and to boost Panther Warrior's power. Joey then plays his set Lightning Blade, not the timing on that, to boost Panther Warrior even stronger than the Fortress Whale, and destroys it. Mako then plays Return of the Doomed to bring his whale right back, so he'll be ready on his next turn. On Joey's turn, Joey draws Giant Trunade, which can return all spells and traps to the hand, which means that Tornado Wall will not be able to protect Mako anymore. When Joey plays the Giant Trunade and Mako's field spell and Tornado Wall have been removed and the field is cleared except for monsters, it's revealed that Mako did not use Return of the Doomed to bring back Fortress Whale at all. He used it to bring back the legendary fisherman. And it gets weirdly serious here in tone.
Yeah, it's like, this is where it gets kind of inconsistent with the fact that, like, not an episode ago, Joey was twirling around when he did his first draw. So it's like, this is where I kind of lost it with me as far as engagement, is the tone's all over the place, man. What do you want to say? What is the anime trying to say while adapting this? Is it trying to be kind of more lighthearted because Mako's a more upbeat character? Or are we going to try and go like a more serious route as we're talking about Mako's trauma and what these cards mean to him? You kind of have to go a little bit more in one direction or the other. You can have funny beats in a serious thing, but you have to make it consistent and kind of know when to do it, which they don't think they did.
No, I don't think they did. But with a solemn expression, Joey plays the Scapegoat card and then tributes one so Panther Warrior can attack the legendary fisherman. And Mako cries as his dad is killed right in front of his eyes for the 3rd time.
Come on. Gohan's seen it 3 times in Dragon Ball. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's doing better than ever, actually.
Yeah, good for him. With a somber jazz backing track, Mako hands over his locator cards, along with Fortress Whale and the legendary fisherman. Joey protests taking the fisherman, but Mako says he's come to rely on it too much. The two clasp hands like that scene from Predator, as the orca does some moves in the background.
I do want to say, Mako did put up the card for Auntie in the manga. Like, he put up both Fortress Whale and legendary fisherman as his Auntie, but Joey put up Jinzo and Insect Queen and his locator cards. So, he got what he rightfully earned.
I think Joey put up the more valuable cards in that deal.
I think so too.
Also, he did not get Fortress Whale's Oath, so he can't summon it.
I know. It's ridiculous. Like, you have to give him the spell card too, at least. Like, or else what's the point? Oh well.
Anyway, Yami and Kaiba are walking in the city, where they are informed that Joey was dueling at the aquarium, and begin to head there. Kaiba badmouths Joey, and Yami tells him to cut the shit and put some respect on his name. And Kaiba responds by laughing maniacally and walking away. Super normal guy, that Kaiba. Episode over.
Well, those sure was episodes.
Yeah, we got one super cool high-stakes duel, and then Mako was there after that.
Yeah, I'm going to say I was a little disappointed by this one. I'm a very vocal fan about Joey duels, and I very much love them. And while I'm going to say I'm glad I didn't have to cover these episodes for two reasons. One, because the Slifer duel is one of my favorite duels in the series. And two, this would have been kind of a slog for me, as it was kind of a slog to watch. Not the one of the best executed ones in the anime. Not terrible. It's not inherently bad, but it's just kind of like, there were better ones, you know? There's always going to be, like, not the best ones. So, just kind of stinks it was around the one that Joey, you know, finally went over one of the walls and got the 6 locator cards.
Yeah, which means Joey did get all of the cards he needed to get into the finals before Yugi or Kaiba did.
Yeah, fuck you, Kaiba.
Yeah, rich boy.
Yeah, rich boy what? You just big Egyptian god card couldn't get you those cards or locator cards right away?
Yeah, rich boy, why don't you go cry home to mommy and daddy? Oh, wait. Got him.
Fuck, you just orphan joked him.
Yeah. It's been 20 years. I'm allowed.
He's a rich, like, that's the thing. Like, Kaiba's rich. Who fucking cares? God. Sorry, it's only Kaiba. It's not orphans. It's just Kaiba, and
yeah, it's
we need
just
to have
Kaiba.
punch.
He deserves it. He can take it.
We can punch up, okay?
Yeah, he's rich. He's in a different tax bracket.
He may be fictional, but he's still a fucking rich boy. We would eat him. Yugi would eat Kaiba.
He's walking around the back streets in like a bleach white long coat. Like, he has someone else laundering that for him. He's fine.
And you know what? It's not really any dirt on it. There's some sort of special rich boy material making sure he doesn't get dirt on it.
Yeah, it's a Mr. Clean for the 1%.
I do really like that outfit, though.
Mr. Clean?
Yeah, that one, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very simplistic. Bald, white t-shirt, jeans, earring.
He has an earring?
I think he has an earring. Hang
This
on.
is going to be a Bernstein Bears thing.
Maybe. No, he has an earring.
Just one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, just one.
Yeah, it's one.
What are they trying to say?
I don't know, because I don't remember which year's the 1 year that everyone says is the 1 year.
Anyway, we're not going to dwell on that any further. Next time on Yu-Gi-Oh! What are we doing?
We are going to do a double tag team duel with Yugi and Kaiba, round 2. And that's going to be the entire episode, because it's a 4-parter episode, so we'll just split covering it, and Phoenix will cover 2 episodes, and I'll cover 2 episodes.
Yeah, wild that we took probably the shortest duel in the series, and then they had the rematch be a 4-parter.
Is that it's the same 2 people, right?
Yeah, it's them. They just have like their hoods up now and have these dumb masks on.
Like, I forget why it's the same people and why they have the masks on and stuff, but
we only had so many voice actors.
I guess so. Either way, I guess it's fine. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. I guess I'll read it and we'll see. And I'll have my comments on it next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any other thoughts with these episodes before we sign off?
I think we've said it all. The Slifer duel was the super cool one. The Mako duel was the super weird one. And now we have 2 god cards. Actually, we have all 3 god cards are loose in Battle City.
Yeah, we haven't seen Winged Dragon of Ra yet. And I don't think we'll see him till the finals. But either way, it's cool that we can finally get to see Slifer, as he's my favorite. And Obelisk is like, I don't know. They're all 3 are special in their own ways in my heart.
Yeah, they're all cool. Just different levels of cool.
Well, and we won't enjoy another Joey duel until after this, and that Joey duel is a biggin for sure. So I'm looking forward to that one, but it's a kind of a shame that we kind of ended with a Joey duel being on such a lull.
Yeah, just a little bit of a bummer, a little bit of a buzzkill.
But in this next episode, we'll get to see a lot of the great Yugi Kaiba dynamics we've all grown to love as they duel 2 random guys who they already beat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't even know if they remember that they're the same guys or not.
I see, and that's the thing, is like I don't even think they acknowledge it really in the dub, which is what confused me the most. But I think they acknowledge it in the manga, if I'm remembering correctly. I guess we'll find out when this episode comes out next time.
Oh, hot dog.
Oh, hot dog. Do you want to do the socials?
Sure, you can find me on twitch.tv/PhoenixForce or youtube.com/PhoenixForce, wherein I stream and upload gameplay of various games. Last time I'd said something about possibly playing Assassin's Creed or Fallout. I'm fighting for my goddamn life with Twitch Studios to try and get that to work. So if I haven't uploaded that by the time this comes out, you can still find more of my casual card gameplay, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, MTG Arena, Marvel, Snip Snap, and all of that sort of thing. Andy, where can people find you? In the digital space.
You can find me on Instagram at apapasergi, PAPPASERGI. I will or am or will be posting artwork stuff, which I'm actually gearing up to do a lot of right now. I'm batching all that kind of content, and I have some music stuff in the works that's coming out in the future, so I'll post that stuff there so you guys can check it out. And you can find all the Kuribros stuff in the links below. All right, well, that's it. Let's sign off right now. My name's Andy.
I'm Phoenix.
Giddy up and good the fuck bye.
Under the sea. Under the sea, down where it's wetter. Mako's dad's dead here, under the sea.